Good evening, parents and students. My name is Ted Strub. I'm the teacher for the AP Calculus AB, and I'd like to give you a quick overview of what we're doing this trimester and what to expect coming up and how do we grade, what's the difference between Schoology and campus. So I'm going to give you a really quick video on just some things that you can expect to see as we close the end of the first trimester. So here's what we got. We have AB Calculus. If you need to get a hold of me, my email is tstrub@isd622.org. And the most important date we have is the AP Calculus exam for both AB and BC is going to be Tuesday, May 4th of 2021. We're not quite sure yet the exact format yet because we have to see what it's going to be like at that point. So I will keep you all posted as we learn more information, and as soon as the AP board gives us more information, we will let you know. Important dates for calculus. What do we have coming up? Well, first off, the last day for Unit 2 test corrections is October 28th, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Coming up, we have a test on November 9th or 10th, depending on which day your student has class. The Unit 4 test is going to be the 23rd or 24th. The test remediation policy. So what happens if you don't do well on a test? How do you earn some points back? This is going to be true for any test. Test corrections may be completed at the end of any test that is below a 75%. If you do the test corrections, you can boost your score up to a 75% of the credit. So corrections must be completed on a separate sheet of paper with accurate work shown for each incorrect problem from the original test. And once those are done, email them directly to Mr. Strub right here. And this is usually due a week after the scores are released. Now, this Unit 2 test that's due October 8th, we definitely extended that due date in case students are a little more motivated now that their parents have had a little conversation with their teacher. So we extended the Unit 2 one that is still an option. The official grade is posted through our campus site. Sometimes parents know that as Parent Portal or Student Portal. The Schoology Gradebook is really regarded as a site that distributes and collects homework, quizzes, and tests, and it kind of gives you information as to where those items are located. Grades are updated weekly. I try to update them as often as possible, and lately it's been on Wednesdays and Fridays mostly. So what does the gradebook look like? Now, don't get intimidated by this. This is pretty heavy. But here's what a student sees when they look in Schoology. So first off, I'm going to have you note there is no current grade or in-progress grade posted in Schoology, so the students won't know their letter grade. All they know, we turned that feature off so we didn't have any confusion. But what students can do is they can kind of view this as a list of assignments. So you could look at this assignment here. This was 3.1, which was due, the one we posted today. And so that means the student is missing this assignment and has until the current unit's assessment to turn that in. If they see a symbol here, it says they got a 5 out of 5 on this, and this little indication is that the student had turned it in and it has been graded. If the student has no score next to it, that means that the student turned it in. That's what the blue submission item is, but it just means it's waiting to be graded. All right, as we scroll down, what happens if it's post due or past due? If there's an NC or a 0, that means the student earned a 0 out of 5 because they did not turn this assignment in at all, and it's past the due date. You can see this one is from September 11th. So if we scroll further, this is an example of a quiz. Every quiz that a student takes, they can go back and do quiz corrections on and earn up to 100% back. So this person got a 7 out of 11. I'm not really sure why it says 6.99. That is something I don't understand in Schoology. In my mind, that's a 7 out of 11. So just in case you had that question. And then scrolling down, what else do we see? Now notice these ones. These were from the 2nd, the 5th, the 10th, and they all have blanks next to them. That means the student has not turned this in and it is currently missing. And notice it's all Unit 2, even a quiz. The student did not do the quiz that was assigned. In Schoology, the student can click exactly on these blue links, and it will take them directly to the location where that assignment has been posted, and they can submit it right there. So the other piece that we can notice is they do have their score for the summative assessment. So this student had a 43 out of 50 on the first test. In the second test, they got a 27.8, which means they're eligible for the remediation to raise their grade to a maximum score of 75%. So they could get a 35 out of 50 there. So that's just a quick overview of what Schoology looks like. This same student, here's what their grade would look like in Campus. This is the official grade, and you can see their final grade is a P at a 63% currently and posted, so this will change as new items are put in. The green one was their midterm, the week 4 grade. And then here they have their summative grades. Now notice that's 50% of your overall grade is your summative tests. And then the homework and quizzes, that's under the formative category. That's worth the other 50% of your grade. So you can still see the same scores that we have here. And notice that this percentage here was for the Unit 2 test. That student is eligible to do a retake to raise that grade up to a 75%. And then we see the same information just posted a little bit differently. If there is a 0, that means that student may no longer do that assignment. It is past the due date. If there was a quiz, the student could have done, now this is from Unit 1, so that's no longer eligible, but in the quiz, they could have done quiz corrections for full points back. If it says missing, that means the student has until the day of that current test. So this is the Unit 2 work. Now we did say we extended that deadline in case parents motivated their students a little bit to get in that missing work. So that anything that says missing may still be turned in. And then on October 28th, I'm going to go through and put zeros and remove the missing for any items that are past due. And then you can see the same thing down here. This is from Unit 1 test. They never turned in their worked out solutions for the review. That was past due, so there's a 0 out of 0, and it doesn't say missing. So if it says missing, your student can still turn it in. If it doesn't say missing, if it's a 0, then they no longer can turn it in. And then this is the total for their formative. But Campus is the official grade. I hope that gives you a little better picture of what's going on in our class and how the two grade books kind of coincide, and the official grade is always on Campus. So if you have any further questions, feel free to email me. I'm going to reach out to specific students and give a more detailed prescription of what they can do to improve their grade. And I hope you all have a great, wonderful, safe end of the trimester as we wrap things up here with about 5 weeks left in the trimester. All right, have a great evening. Take care.